Welcome to Can You Please Just Listen? An experience about books. We're going to read books. Well, I'm not going to read. I'm going to make annoying comments while Megan tries to read.
I'm reading this week.
Yeah. And what are you reading?
I'm reading Nancy Drew, Secret of the Old Clock.
Mm-hmm.
And we are on chapter 7.
This is episode 14 of The Experience.
Episode 14. It's an experience like no other.
It's one of a kind experience.
So if you haven't tuned in before, welcome. But because we're reading two different books simultaneously, pop on over to the beginning, cruise through chapters 1 through 6, and then you'll be right up to speed.
If you're on YouTube watching, I have 2 separate playlists for each book, so you can just follow the story if you want to.
Or you can alternate each week.
No, yeah, if you want the full experience of the podcast, you want to get both. But if you want to follow the narrative directly of either book, you can do that.
Yep.
We'll know, and it'll be kind of a bummer.
And if you've been with us from the beginning, welcome back. Chapter 7, Nancy Drew. Where did we leave off?
Please don't leave us. We need our help. We left off. Where did we leave off? I'm stuck on the one where they brought the Horner girls over because that one was so wild. But there was one after that. Oh, she fought with the Toplums in the store. The vase broke and it was wild. I like that one because Nancy got after them. And then we found out that $50 then is $900 now.
Yes.
And that they kept $900 vases on just open counters in department stores then. That's everything I remember.
I think that was it, to be honest.
Nailed it. It helps when you listen to every episode 3 times, the information sticks.
That too. That too. And it put a fire under Nancy's behind to find the will.
Gotta find the will.
Because the Topham sisters are
still got
terrible.
time, but it's getting there, Nance.
Yeah, this is page 59.
Go.
All right, are we ready?
I'm ready. What's the chapter?
Ready. Name of the chapter. Nancy turns sleuth.
Nancy turns sleuth. Okay.
All right, chapter 7. Nancy turns sleuth.
Finally.
While Nancy Drew eagerly waited, scarcely daring to breathe naturally. Oh!
She's in the bushes.
She's in the bushes.
That was the big reveal at the end. She's hiding in the bushes. She's
in the bushes. Or she left the bushes?
No, I think
she's in the bushes.
She's staying creeping in the bushes.
All right, guys, we're back.
Oh.
We're back.
Recap was lacking.
Nancy turns sleuth, chapter 7.
She's in a bush.
While Nancy Drew eagerly waited, scarcely daring to breathe naturally lest her presence be detected, Ada began to speak. Well, if there should happen to be another will, we may be dumped, she said sourly. I don't believe Josiah Crowley ever made such a will, Isabel replied in so low a tone that Nancy scarcely caught the words. Evidently, Nancy Drew does, or she wouldn't be taking such an interest in those Horner girls, Ada returned. I know she had them at her house last week because I was passing and saw them go in. How I hate that girl. If she should get her father interested, he might dig up another will.
I have a hard time believing that 2 girls of late middle school, early high school age sit around talking about wills of deceased uncles. I know it's for the book. I'm just saying. Also, they super hate Nancy Drew. Holy moly.
Oh, yeah. All right. Even if another will does turn up, we can trust Dad to take care of it, Isabel commented dryly.
Daddy will save us.
You mean he would... Never mind what I mean.
Oh.
Isabel insinuated darkly.
Oh, I like that.
Mother and Dad wouldn't be simple enough to let that money get away from us.
Mother and Dad.
Mother and Dad.
That speaks volumes of the relationship between the mother and the father. Dad. Mother.
At least it's not Mother and Daddy.
I had a feeling it was going to be Daddy. I was worried about it. It would be like that too, for sure.
We'll see if it gets dropped later on.
All
right. It's ours by right anyhow. Didn't Josiah Crowley live on us? Not live with us. Live on us.
Some of the not innuendo but could be things are tough.
Yes, we ought to have all of the money after enduring him for nearly 3 years. Also, you don't endure family.
Was he family or he's like adjacent family?
But even still, if you invited him to live with you,
well, they're awful. They're awful girls.
That is true. It is terrible.
But you're right. But also they're not great.
Yes, we ought to have all the money after enduring him for nearly 3 years. Just the same, I don't like the way Nancy Drew is taken up with the Horner girls. She always did have a way of nosing into things she had no business to find out. Oh, pooh for her, Isabel scoffed.
Pooh for her.
Let her try to discover anything she likes. The money was given to us fairly enough.
Is it P-O-O?
P-O-O-H.
Ooh, like Winnie.
Winnie the Pooh.
Hey,
Yeah.
nice.
Pooh for her.
There's a very anxious dog over here.
Hello, anxious dog.
You're right, buddy. I know. We're
It's
speaking.
Dino, our anxious dog. Honey's up on the bed. She's waiting her turn.
You'll be okay. All right, sorry.
The conversation ended abruptly as Isabel and Ada rose from the bench and walked on down the street. Nancy waited until they were out of sight and then emerged from the bushes. There may be a chance to find that missing will after all.
It's Nancy popping out of the bushes.
There may be a chance to find that missing will after all, she reasoned, as she sank down on the bench vacated by Isabel and Ada. Nancy had always been convinced that Josiah Crowley had made a second will. However, since her talk with the Horner girls, she had shared her father's opinion that the document had fallen into the hands of the Tophams only to be destroyed. This conviction has discouraged her.
She was discouraged, understandably, because she's, not finding any clues. I'm moving forward.
Yes.
She wants to find the second will.
Yes. Now, the information which she had gleaned from the snatch of overhead conversation gave her new hope. She's had a lot of new hope. It's been a roller coaster so far.
It does feel like she's easily defeated by a case for an incredible detective child.
Yeah, there's just a lot of ups, like
when it's
Rainstorm, met the Horner girls, no will, possibly a will.
Feels like maybe she needs some medication to level her out a little bit. Like her highs are high and her lows are low, and there's no sort of middle ground where she's just like, everything's all right.
Or just like a positive outlook on life.
But she has the hyper positive sometimes, where it's like, whoa, okay, Nancy.
Yeah, she needs Ned. Ned needs to come into her life.
I don't know what a net is. It's not fair.
The reason I said that, and not all women need a man to balance them out. Totally get that. But I'm just saying, is that in my instance,
Barefoot in the kitchen, Megan.
If I was comparing myself to Nancy, you are a good balance to me. Sometimes I get super excited about things, and he balances me out.
Push her right back down.
Yep.
Where she belongs.
Okay.
Marriage counseling round 3.
From what Isabel and Ada had said, she was led to believe that if Josiah Crowley had made a second will, the Tophams were as ignorant as herself concerning its whereabouts.
Okay, that's a fair point. So the Tophams are afraid of a second will, but don't know about where. So they're sort of living in fear also that it will appear.
Correct.
It's fun.
Because if Dad finds it...
Tutty.
Yeah. Anyway, it's discouraging to know the will hasn't been destroyed. Sorry. It's encouraging to know the will hasn't been destroyed. Not discouraging. Encouraging.
Positive Nancy.
Nancy told herself. But there's one thing certain. If the Tophams ever get their hands on it, they'll take care it never comes to light.
100%. Yep. They would destroy it.
From what Isabel and Ada said, I judged they're beginning to realize their position is anything but secure. If I'm ever to find that will, I must get busy before they beat me to it.
Just gotta get busy.
The Incredibles. They got busy!
I had a feeling we're gonna go there.
Yep.
As we should.
Yep. Many years in a relationship, I pull a lot of weird movie references, and Jesse doesn't really bat an eye on it anymore. So, welcome to our journey.
It's an experience and a journey.
Yeah. Maybe a regret. Who knows? But
Hope not.
I hope not either. All right. Nancy Drew possessed her father's liking for mystery, and she delighted in a battle of wits with championing a worthy cause.
Darn right she does.
Carson Drew had often remarked that he enjoyed the detective work of his cases better than the court work, but Nancy knew he was too busy with his own cases to devote much attention to the missing Crowley will. If anything were done to help the Horner girls win their inheritance, she must accomplish it herself.
Gotta do it on your own, Nancy.
Yep.
Woman of the house.
As Nancy reviewed the facts of the case, it seemed to her that she must have overlooked a possible clue. Never had a mystery appeared more baffling. For nearly 10 minutes, Nancy sat lost in deep thought. Then, with a cry of delight, she sprang to her feet. Ah! How How stupid of me not to think of it before. The Horner girls aren't the only ones who should have figured in the will.
Who else?
There were a number of relatives, and Father said that they filed a claim too. I wonder who they are. If I could talk with them, it's possible I might learn something that would have a bearing on the case.
All right, so we need more witnesses, if you will. Witness, I don't know.
Specific relatives.
Subject matter experts on the will.
Yes. Convinced that the inspiration was a happy one, she set off toward her father's office. He was engaged in an important conference when she arrived, and Nancy was forced to wait 10 minutes before she was admitted to the inner office.
Your daddy's at work keeping you in house and home. Give him 10 minutes.
You ready for this? Now what? Her father asked, smiling as she burst in upon him. Is it a new dress you want?
Oh, dunk from Carson.
Nancy's cheeks were flushed and her eyes danced with excitement. Don't try and tease me, she protested. I've stumbled into something important, and I want information.
She's losing her mind.
At your service, Nancy, Mr. Drew said. But if it's about the Crowley case, I've told you everything I know.
It's about the Crowley case.
Nancy poured out the story of her encounter with the Topham sisters in the department store and told of the conversation she had overheard at the public park.
Overheard's one way of putting that. Snuck around and
crawled
eavesdropped.
through Force Station. Mr. Drew listened with interest until she had finished. And now what is it you want? He asked gravely. I thought if I went to those other relatives, I might be able to learn something which may help solve the mystery.
Okay.
A good idea, Nancy. But I don't know their names, and that's why I came to you.
I don't know their names, addresses,
who they
if
are.
they're real.
Are they alive?
I just know that they might exist.
The relatives.
They're someone's relative. We're all someone's relative, right? Think about it, man. Dude.
All right. I'll leave that to you. I don't think I can pull off that voice.
You did it.
I wish I could help you, but I'm afraid I can't, Mr. Drew said regretfully. Nancy's face fell.
You can do faces, not
Wait a
voices.
minute, he called, and as she turned to leave, I can't supply the names you want, but I think I can tell you where to find them. Where?
That's kind of the same thing, right? I can't tell you, but I can tell you.
I think she wanted...
Just like a list of like their relatives.
Yeah, like...
Okay, you're right.
Bob, Joe, and Larry.
Yeah, and he's like, Bob, Joe, and Larry could be their names in a phone book. Go look it up.
Yeah, but it's I can't tell you their exact names, but there's probably a record of it at the courthouse where you might have to do some legwork and find it yourself.
This feels like when you can't spell a word and someone's like, just sound it out. And you're like, thanks. If I could sound it out, I would. I'm an idiot. I can't spell. Tell me the letters.
To this day, I will forever remember coffee because of that instance. I asked my dad how to spell coffee. He said, look it up in the dictionary. And I'm like, well, the reason I'm asking you is because I don't know.
Is it a K or a C? It's a serious question.
How many F's, how many E's? Same with vacuum?
No one knows.
Aardvark. I know how to spell aardvark because of Arthur. Thank you, Arthur.
I am still really good at getting all the letters in the wrong order. I'm not dyslexic, but I'm a little dyslexic.
All right.
Sorry.
Where?
Go.
At the courthouse. They should be on file. He glanced at his watch and frowned. But I'm afraid it's too late to go there this afternoon. Oh, and I'm anxious to find out right away, Nancy declared in disappointment. If I delay even a single day, the Tophams may get ahead of me and find that will.
I don't think it's that pressing, right? It hasn't been a while since the dude died.
I think so.
It wasn't like the other day. It's been time.
Yeah.
But now it's pressing. Well, I guess the Tophams are worried about it.
I think the Tophams are worried about it because Nancy.
Because of Nancy.
Nancy started it. Suddenly, her face brightened as she thought of something. I know. I'll jump into the roadster and run out and have a talk with the Horner girls. They should be able to furnish me with information.
So she's going to ask the Horner girls for all of their relatives' names?
I think the relatives that Crowley stayed with prior to them.
I feel like that would have come up in their conversations earlier, but I guess not, obviously.
Yeah. You can try them at least. That's just what I'll do, Nancy decided as she turned again toward the door.
I don't think there's ever a choice. She was going.
Just a minute, Carson Drew stopped her. I wonder if you realize just what you're getting into, Nancy. What do you mean? Why? What do you mean? Only this.
Why?
Detective
What?
work. I know.
What are you gonna say to me?
Detective work isn't always the safest occupation in which to engage. I happen to know that Richard Topham is an unpleasant man when crossed. If you actually succeed in learning anything which may help the Horner girls, you are certain to have the Tophams in your wool.
You're gonna cross them. In your wool?
In your wool.
That's a fun saying.
In your wool. I'm not afraid of them, Father. Good, Mr. Drew exclaimed. I was hoping you would say that. I'm glad you have the courage of your convictions, but I didn't want you to march off into battle without a knowledge of what, undoubtedly, you will be up against.
Yeah. March off. Yeah, I heard that too. March off into battle.
Battle? Yes, battle. Rest assured the Tophams won't give up the fortune without a bitter struggle. However, if they attempt to make serious trouble, I promise to deal with them myself. I only wish I had the time to help you find the will.
Is Carson Drew gonna kill someone?
I hope not. There's a couple lines left, but I have a thought on this whole thing.
She's got feelings.
And if I find it, I'll take the matter into court. Oh, thank you. There's no one like you in all the world. Nancy moved toward the door. I may not get back until rather late, she threw back over her shoulder. I have a feeling I may discover a real clue today. And if I do, I'm going to trail it down. Well, with characteristic oh no. I know how it's said, but...
Impetuosity.
With characteristic impetuosity, she
It's a
darted
tough one.
She darted from the room, permitting the office door to bang behind her.
Impetuosity. Boom.
Okay, so vocab's not my strong suit. Bear with me.
The chances of me getting that right were like 1 in 10. Nailed it.
So I'm excited that her father is saying, hey, I like what you're doing.
Go into battle.
You're sticking up for your
Convictions? Is that what it is?
convictions, your thoughts, your ideas, your ideals, your morals.
Morals.
But it might get dangerous. And then I like how he's like, if it does get super dangerous though, I'll be here. I'll be here.
To be fair, he said he'd bring him to court then.
Yeah.
He's
an unpleasant man to cross, but he seems a little nonchalant about what danger his daughter could possibly be getting into.
It feels more like he'll yell at her a bunch than kill her.
Yeah.
But I don't know that for a fact.
Like my mind instantly goes to the Sue Grafton series that I also read, where it's like the main character gets shot at or drowned or.
It is Nancy Drew, to be fair.
I know, it's completely different.
Do people get shot in Nancy Drew?
Ooh, I don't think so.
I'm asking you.
I have no idea. I have not read them in a very long time.
That's not an excuse.
That's why we're reading them now.
People get shot in my books. I know for a fact.
Do you want to know the chapter of next?
It's up to you.
The name of the chapter of next one?
You gotta decide. You're the arbiter of truth.
A discouraging day.
Womp
womp.
There is a real rhythm to this book.
Up, down, up,
Yes.
down, up.
It has to do with Nancy's bipolar lifestyle.
Up, down. Well, even in that, like, she was so excited. She's like,
was-
oh, I can't get to the courthouse. Oh, they're
It
closed.
really is super-
I'm never going to find the name. Oh, I'll go talk to the Horners. Like, it was a very
I guess it
high
makes
and low.
a lot of sense for like a kid's book to keep you like ping-ponging back and forth, keep you reading.
It's also kind of,
Will work on me.
it's distracting to a sense, but it's also kind of nice because, like, if you think about what your thought process is throughout the day, like, I know I ping pong back and forth. Yeah. So it's very true
way easier
to be like, oh, I could do, no, wait, yeah, oh, no.
Squirrel, etc., etc. Oh, that's a good chapter. There's a lot of good stuff going on there.
Yeah.
A lot of good words, weird vocab.
Impetuosity.
Sleuthing from the bushes.
But Nancy became a sleuth.
A sleuth. Exactly. That's a really good note to end on, I think. Sleuthing.
Impetuosity.
Impetuosity is the sleuthing. Oof, I didn't nail that landing. Thank you for listening, participating, experiencing, sleuthing, and look for us on the internet.
All the places.
Yeah, most, all the places. She's right. All the places.
Some of the places.
We'll be there. You really gotta look though for some of those places. You gotta look.
With your eyes.
And your fingies. I've done that twice so far. I gotta change the microphone. Thank you for participating. Impetuosity. Impetuosity?
Sleuth.
Sleuth.